What do we know about the enhanced protections that this decision gave today?
This is a huge, sweeping ruling which reflects tremendous change in U.S. culture and politics in recent years. It follows decades of activism and years of litigation, and it means that as of today, the law of the land is that it is illegal to fire someone based on their being gay, lesbian, or transgender. The Supreme Court read the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which says you can't be fired on the basis of sex, to inherently include protection for firing based on sexual orientation or gender identity. In other words, that if your boss fires you because of your gender identity or your sexual orientation, automatically that is a form of sex discrimination, and sex discrimination is illegal.
So, Josh, to a certain extent, it feels like this ruling is kind of catching up with what a lot of companies have already done. Taylor read off a few of the names there. I'm wondering, from the perspective of employees who are fired and feel that it was done because of their sexual orientation, whether this now gives them a better opportunity to sue, or are they still going to face roadblocks?
Both. There are always roadblocks for employees trying to bring employment lawsuits in the United States, including the vast share of the workforce that's covered by forced arbitration clauses, for example, where as a condition of employment, they've had to sign away their right to go into a courtroom trial, and they can instead be shunted into a private arbitration proceeding. But that said, up until today, employers could argue that even if they had fired you for being gay or lesbian or transgender, that would not have been illegal. Now the Supreme Court has made clear firing people based on sexual identity, based on sexual orientation or gender identity, is against the law. And so that brings people across one of several hurdles to winning a discrimination lawsuit.
Inherently, this is a very personal, success for some people to be hearing this. I mean, I think of Jun.15 A, who leads Dow, and he's today tweeting about it, saying, still, though, there must continue to be advocacy for full non-discrimination policies nationwide, like the Equality Act. Important coming from Jim himself, who is a gay leader of a Fortune 500 business. You, talking of personal, you spoke to some of the plaintiffs that brought the cases, and very tragically, 2 of the 3 plaintiffs have actually died.
That's correct. One of them, Amy Stevens, a transgender woman who brought her suit saying it was illegal to fire her for being transgender, passed away just this year. I spoke to her for a profile for Business Week last year, and we talked about the fact that Donald Trump had become president and was remaking the court to be more conservative. She told me at the time she had no regrets about pursuing her case, and that if there was a loss at the Supreme Court, people would have to continue pushing for equality on and on. It turns out she won. While she wasn't alive to see it, she was victorious.